Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 28, 2014 Governing Board meeting for the Maricopa County Community College District. Before we start the meeting, I would like to make a presentation to switching of the guards here. For the last 2 years, Mr. Bill Burke has been the president, and the board has taken a serious move putting me in that position for the next year. But I would like to have Mr. Bill Burke stand up and let me read what the plaque says. In appreciation for your district leadership and service to the Maricopa County Community College District, we give you this. And I want to say a few words about Mr. Burke. I mean, he's obviously been here for the last 2 years. You've seen him in action here. But I think what you don't know is his activity and his leadership in an organization that includes all of the community college governing boards in the state of Arizona. He is currently the president of AADGB and has taken that organization from what I would consider somewhat benign to something that's very active now, and I congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I should now wander into obscurity.
Well, not quite, because I'm going to ask you to do the pledge for us.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Burke. Welcome to CEC here tonight. There are 2 substitutes with us tonight. Susie Polito is here for Gene Giovannini, and Greg Rogers is here attending for Irene Kovala. So welcome to both of you. We also would like to invite our students from Chandler Gilbert Community College under the direction of Mr. Mike Green to come forward with student life reports.
While he's working on this, I have a comment to make. So you're going by Mr. Green now?
That's what it says here, so sorry about that. You can introduce yourself when it's done.
No, it's a old history.
You can call me Mike, you can call me Mr. Green, you can call me, just don't call me late for dinner. Thank you. President Saar, members of the board, Dr. Glassberg, members of the CEC, and guests, my name is Michael Green. I'm the Director of Student Life and Leadership at Chandler Gilbert Community College. I'm representing the Directors of Student Life and Leadership as the chair of the annual district-wide retreat, district-wide 3-day retreat. I am here to give you an update for this year's retreat. I will be followed. Thank you. I'm on now, huh? Okay. I will be followed by Mark Bernal, and he's going to give you his perspective as a Chandler Gilbert student and student leader as he attended the retreat. First slide is the students that participate in a district-wide or multi-college leadership training experience will demonstrate the ability to define and model effective leadership styles. That's the directors of student life. That's our goal. That's our outcomes that we look for after each retreat. So this year, our retreat was held at Pine Summit, and the Pine Summit camp was September 20th, 21, and 22. We had 172 students attend and 27 staff from Central Arizona College, Chandler Gilbert, Coconino, Estrella Mountain, Gateway, Glendale, Mesa, Phoenix, Scottsdale, and South Mountain colleges were represented up there. A lot of fun. We had a keynote speaker there who was Associate Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, Dr. Felicia Ganther, who presented and also followed up. Each student who attended the retreat got a follow-up email from her. And she talked about some things that were really important to her, and I'll let some of the other students talk about that. We had workshops. Workshops included building a team, career anchors. We had Strength Quest. We had leadership lessons by Dr. Seuss, because of course the theme was leadership by the books. We We had service. Service was included in our 3A retreat. We had a program where we did service for Ben's Belt, and every student who attended the retreat got a chance to do that. So we asked the students who attended the retreat, and we asked them, if you attended the retreat, what did you get out of it? So though after attending the retreat, 96% of the students said they were ready to take on a leadership role in clubs and activities. 88% said they had increased their cultural awareness and understanding. And out of 93% of the students that attended the retreat said that they were ready to utilize my strengths and lead and support my community. 93% decided that overall, the student leadership retreat met their expectations, 93%. Okay, so this slide is leadership by the books. Each one of the 27 staff that attended had a leadership book that they brought with them, and they shared that with the student leaders as a part of the orientation. Each one of us got a chance to talk about leadership and our perspective of that. I will let Mark Bernal talk to you, who's a student leader at Chandler Gilbert Community College. He's one of our student leaders involved in the MEN chapter. He's one of the officers in the MEN chapter, and he's also involved in other organizations such as the Hispanic Student Organization. Thanks.
Hello, board members, presidents of the college, Lindy Lujan. I had the privilege of attending the Pine Summit 3-day leadership retreat. Like Mike said, it was leadership by the book. And while attending this retreat, I was able to connect and to network with various students from the community colleges. The thing that I took the most out of the leadership retreat was words from Dr. Felicia Ganther, which stood out to me, which was, live your life, have purpose, and to continue with your endeavors. After hearing her speech, I was able to bring back some of the things that she had taught me and to implement it into our community college. Like Mike Green said, I am Vice President of the Male Empowerment Network at school, and I'm also a member of the Hispanic Student Organization. So I thank you all for letting me be able to speak, and thank you.
Okay, so ladies, I also brought several student leaders from our campus, and they're from a club called Hands Enriching Lives Program, HELP, H-E-L-P. They are a service club on our campus, and their advisors, Diane Travers, and who is comm faculty at the campus, and Alex Cannell, who's administrative assistant to service learning. Alex is in the back there. Have led these students through their journeys of service. Student leaders who are here to speak: Julie Nguyen, Wendy Suarez, and Whitney Vizzini.
President Starr, members of the board, Dr. Glassford, members of the CEC, and guests. My name is Julie Nguyen. I am the president of Help Club, and I would like to introduce to you our vice presidents, Wendy Suarez and Whitney Vizzini. Now, Help Club, it stands for, like Mike said, Hands Enriching Lives Project. Building houses, socializing with adults with developmental disabilities, and also planning drives are a couple of things we do in Help. Now about how we started Help. In fall 2008, a student in Diane Travers' interpersonal communication class, Caesar Gray, approached Diane with the idea to create a community service club. She thought it was a great idea, and she also accepted to be one of the advisors of our club. Wendy.
We've gone a long way since then. However, I'm going to talk in specific about our fall of 2013 contributions. We've helped out our school with Poverty 101 and Hunger Banquet. And this is where we went into our school and we helped educate our fellow college students about what's really going on in our community as far as poverty and hunger. We also took that knowledge and put it into the streets. And that's a one-day service learning opportunity that we had to become leaders. And we assisted our faculty advisors to help lead and serve our community. A few other contributions were Into the Streets, Boys and Girls Club, and Baby Drive. Oh, I'm sorry. Boys and Girls Club's Baby Drive, and ARC. ARC is something we do where we go into the center and we build friendships with special need adults. And it's really a rewarding experience because we get to see them light up, we have dance parties with them, and it's a really fun time. We have a drive every semester, and this is where we go, and we raised about 9 boxes of very needed baby supplies for the Chandler Community's food drive. On near Thanksgiving, we actually went to the Boys and Girls Club, and we helped serve families that, quite honestly, wouldn't have had all that great of a dinner. And that was also a really rewarding experience. And finally, our largest contribution would be Habitat for Humanity. This is where we went to Phoenix, and we actually helped build a house from bottom up. We've done this for the past 4 years, and it started in October. And we actually finished with the dedication this last Saturday, where our president has joined with us. You can see that it's a really rewarding experience, and we actually got to see the homeowners cry with so much joy that they had in receiving their own proper house. Whitney?
In order for HELP members to be considered active, they have 2 requirements. The first requirement is to attend at least 3 HELP Club meetings, and the second requirement is to attend at least 2 HELP Club activities. As Wendy stated on our last slide, our largest contribution to the community was Habitat for Humanity, where we donated over 425 hours to our community. And as a whole, Chandler Gilbert Community College's HELP Club donated over 520 community service hours to our community. Julie?
Some of the rewards that we received this past year is our 2012 Spirit Stick. And this award goes to, it's from a club and it's offered on to us for being active and also the most spirited. Also in 2012 and 2013, we got the Golden Coyote Award, which is basically a leadership reward. And also, this past week, we got a plaque from Habitat for Humanity.
Some of our goals for the spring 2014 semester include member recruitment. Today and tomorrow, our club is participating in our school's Chill and Grill. We will be recruiting new members with other clubs on campus. Our advisors and our officers would agree that our fall 2013 semester was a success, but we want to make sure that spring 2014 is a success also. With our dedication towards Habitat for Humanity last weekend ending, our largest contribution to the community has ended for this semester, but we are talking about new drives and new ways to get involved in our community this semester. And we would also like to receive the Golden Coyote Award for the 3rd year in a row.
We would like to thank you so much for this opportunity. Also, if you're interested in servicing our community, give us a call and we will help you.
Please help me recognize the students from Chandler Gilbert Community College.
Mike, thank you, and thanks the 28, I believe, faculty members that were part of the program. Is that what you said earlier?
Of the 27 of the
27.
retreat staff, yes, there was 27 staff and faculty that were part of the staff that went up to the mountains with the students.
I want to thank them too, because that's
Sure.
a big part of putting this together, so
Yes.
express
you.
our appreciation.
I will.
Next, we have the Emeritus Awards and Recognitions. First of all,
Before we go to that, I do have one question. Mr. Green,
Yes.
is it Dr. Green?
No.
I'm just thinking around our past.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. In here you have a list of, or you had books that each of the leaders at the,
Yes.
okay. Is there a way we could get a copy of the list of what books that they were able to share with the students?
No problem at all. I'll send you that list.
Thank you. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, everything from Dr. Seuss to leadership by, my favorite was John Wooden, was my leadership guide, and I brought that book to share.
Awesome. I'd love to see that list.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Emeritus Distinction Awards. First of all, from Mesa Community College, Dr. Pan has a couple.
President, may I approach
Yes,
the
you may.
podium? Thank you.
It's yours.
Presidents, our board members, Chancellor Glasper, CEC colleagues, and guests. Our district, our colleges are outstanding, not because people like me, the administrators, it's faculty. We truly have blessed with so many dedicated, talented faculty who devote their talent, their time to serve students in our community. Tonight, I am honored, but indeed humbled to present and recommend to you for consideration approval for the status of Emeritus Distinction to truly the outstanding best faculty that not only this district, I'm ventured to say all community colleges in the nation cannot have better, more dedicated faculty members. Here's why. We have two that together served the Mesa Community College for 75 years. Let me ask Dr. Juan Marquez join me, please. Dr. Marquez dedicated 30 years of his service to our district. Studied at Scottsdale Community College at the CIS in computer areas, and then moved down to the district in many capacities in the computer technology area for 14 years. He got smart. He went to Mesa Community College and devoted his technology expertise, his instruction expertise in the Department of Business Information System Department. There, he flourished. Students loved him. He became a leader. He done so many things for students. Students has always been his top priority. Students follow him regardless what class he's taught because he's thorough, he's patient, he gives time to students. Not only that, he served, when he was in the district, did many things. He served not only in technology areas, college financials, budget development, student information systems. So that background also informed his teaching at Mesa Community College. He established, chaired, served on various departmental committees, task forces. He's a champion early adopter of online learning, developed templates. He became one of the first early adopters of certified quality matters peer review. He serves as a mentor for other faculties on online hybrid courses through our Gold Star program. We are very sad to see him retire. Look at him, young, healthy. But our students, thousands of them, literally benefit his expertise, his devotion, his talent. So please join me in thanking Dr. Juan Marquez for his service, outstanding service to our district.
Good evening, President Saar, governing board members, Dr. Glasper, members of the CEC. I want to thank you all and Dr. Pan for the special recognition tonight. It's been an honor to have served the colleges and the students for the past 30 years, and can't believe it's coming to an end, though it's come to an end. Really proud of everything that the district has accomplished during my tenure, and I'm confident that the leadership in place now will continue to be innovative in providing the services to our community. Thank you again.
Thank you.
The next honoree that I'm recommending, his name is not unfamiliar with many of us. 45 years for Mesa Community College, for Maricopa County Community College District. That is none other Dr. Jacob Peterson. Please join me to the podium. Dr. Peterson joined the district in 1969. For 45 years, he's taught sociology at MCC. If I read what he has done for our district, for our college, I'll probably be there for another half an hour. But let me highlight some of the outstanding stuff. By his rough calculation, probably a whole campus of students he taught, 26,000 students he has taught, went through his classes. He was a faculty advisor for our Omicron Beta Phi Delta Kappa chapter for 13 years. He served the department chair for 5 terms. That's consecutive 15 years as department chair. He hired, mentored many faculty who have become leaders, generation of them at Mesa Community College. He represented the district to many other colleges in the nation. He went to become a visiting faculty member at Brigham Young University. He was loaned to New Jersey, Brookdale Community College in Lynn Crawford, New Jersey as a student development specialist. He was originally one of the founders of the prestigious known Chess Academy. Chess Academy is still in work today and doing great work internationally. And thank you for your vision for helping this organization to flourish. He received, together with other faculty members of Mesa Community College, the prestigious David Pierce Award from American Association of Community Colleges. He won the National League of Innovation Community College Innovator of the Year, 1991-92. He served 2 consecutive years to chair the Mesa's Association of Department Chairs Association. For 11 years, he served on the board of Banner Desert Hospital and Carden Children's Hospital. 2006, he was awarded Distinguished Faculty Award by MCC Faculty Association. I guess I could go on and on. I'm humbled to stand beside this gentleman, this scholar. The kind of service he done for our students, our community, cannot be simply described by the word. But a small token to say thank you for your dedicated service, distinguished career. Thank you so very much.
Members of the board and Dr. Glasper and the college president, I'm really humbled by the distinction that's been given to me tonight, and I just want to let you know that I had 2 job offers when I graduated from graduate school, College of Southern Idaho in Twin Falls and this one. And without ever having been here, I got a call from the college president, John Riggs at the time. And without even being here, I accepted this position. And I've never regretted that decision. Let's see, Mesa, Arizona, Twin Falls, Idaho. But the opportunities that have come to me through being on this faculty and in this district have been just tremendous in terms of my own growth and my opportunities to serve. This has been my dream job, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to have worked here and now to have received this award. Thank you very much.
The next Emeritus Award is from Chandler Gilbert Community College, Dr. Linda Lupon.
President Saar, may I approach the podium?
Please.
Thank you. President Saar, governing board members, Chancellor Glasper, CEC members, and honored guests, it is my great pride and privilege to introduce our faculty emeritus, David Weaver. With great reluctance, however, I am putting forth this nomination, and I think David learned today just how reluctant we are. But that's a story for another day. I'm going to let Dr. Guerrero, who's going to join me up here with David, share some of the details of his distinguished career. But Dr. Pan started the standard tonight talking about the number of years and the excellence and the humility. I too have great humility standing next to you. When I think of all he's given to thousands of students, to the district, to the community, to the nation, and to the world through his service, it's just amazing. And I want to share one quick story, and we could stay here all night with stories, yes?
Yes.
I was at an East Valley event 2 weeks ago, and an individual came up to me and said, my daughter is getting a science fellowship. She's going to travel all around the world. She has a master's degree, but do you know where she learned the most and the best? I said, where? He said, Chandler Gilbert Community College. I said, oh, really? And there was one professor. I said, really? Yeah, there was this one professor who changed her mind about science. I said, you remember his name? No, but he has hair and shoes. I said, it's David Weaver. Yes, that's it. And he told me the story, he went on and on and on about how you changed her life. And I think that story is reflective of those thousands of lives that David has touched. We hate to let you go, but I am so privileged to make this nomination tonight.
Thank you, President Lujan, President Saar, members of the Governing Board, Chancellor Glasper, members of CEC, and guests. I'd like to acknowledge our current chair of Physical Sciences and Engineering Division, Brad Bates, who prepared the information that you have before you about David Weaver's emeritus distinction. I'd like to share it with the audience, as well as a couple of comments of my own. David Weaver has been an exceptional instructor, educational leader, and innovator his entire career in Maricopa Community Colleges. His professional objectives have always been to improve numeracy and scientific thinking locally and globally. David has taught college physics, electronics, semiconductor manufacturing, study skills, computer programming, computer art, general studies capstone courses over the last 32 years. In addition, he has worked with K-12 teachers over the years to improve their abilities to teach math and science, and he's given hundreds of lectures and workshops to college colleagues locally, regionally, and nationally on a wide range of topics, including active learning strategies, project-based physics, computational physics, and uses of instructional technologies. David has served as Division Chair, Occupational Program Designer and Director, Occupational Dean, Faculty Senate President, member of the Faculty Senate and Chair of our Campus Instructional Technology Committee, Chair and Co-Chair of District-Wide Instructional Technology Initiatives, Curriculum Design Facilitator, Staff Development Coordinator, District-Wide Chair of Physics Instructional Council, President, Vice President of two-year college representative, and Section Representative of the Arizona Section of the American Association of Physics Teachers, Chair of the two-year College Committee of the National Association of Physics Teachers, among other positions. He has had a remarkable career, as you can hear, but I also would like to say what an inspiration David has been to me and many of my colleagues at Chandler Gilbert Community College. David was an out-of-the-box thinker before the rest of us knew there even was a box. And he has encouraged all of us to see things differently, and I thank him personally for that, and would like to present David now for the emeritus distinction he so richly deserves.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. That I couldn't have done what I've done in the last 32 years if it hadn't been for a lot of amazing people. I look up in front of me, and Doyle Burke was one of my first mentors. that in 1983, I think, I met you, and for many years he always referred to me as young man. And even after he retired, I remember running into him at, I think it was Terminal 3 of the airport where he was doing work there, and he referred to me as young man. Now, the last couple of times I've seen him, he has not said, what, Doyle? But the people that work here are amazing and have helped me so much. I think one of the things that I remember with pride and great fondness is some of the work that we were able to accomplish when I was chair of the Physics Instructional Council. Because in, I think it was 82, 83, that Alfredo de los Santos decided that we needed competencies for all courses. And at the time, people didn't really know what that meant. And so what most folks did is take a textbook, copy the table of contents as the outline, and then put a few action words in front of those and said that's the competencies. And there was no way people were actually doing that. So I made the decision that we should really try to work with that and come up with something that was much more meaningful. And so there was a person that was working in MCLI at the time. I think she was part-time at the moment as an instructional designer, and I worked closely with her, and I think we came up with what still serve as some of the exemplary competencies and outlines across all of the several thousand courses that we offer. And her name was Maria Harper Marinette. and so I've just been blessed to be able to work with the best. And so that you know, I'm not done with Maricopa. I'm still teaching online. That Vice Chancellor Thompson grabbed me in July and said, will you work on Maricopa priorities? So as I go into retirement, I'm still working on Maricopa priorities, and I get to work with folks like Sam and a lot of you folks. So I'm easing out. Thank you so much for all the many years that you've given me.
Thanks to all of the emeritus employees that we're losing. It's a lot of shoes to fill that are pretty good size, so good luck, presidents, in doing so. We have a couple others that we're going to postpone until our next meeting, from Glendale Community College and an item from Scottsdale Community College as well. Next item on the agenda is the citizens interim. There's some things to read. I'm just going to kind of live it here a little bit. The board respects the right of citizens to appear before us in citizens interim to speak on any topic. However, as you know, the open meeting laws in the state of Arizona prevent us from making statements in response. I know that some of you are here to comment on allegations related to personnel that are in the dispute resolution process. The truth or falsity of those allegations will be tested in a hearing where all the evidence can be examined in context. Board members who may be asked to make the final decision in the process must refrain from premature comment on such matters to protect the rights of all the affected employees. We have two people speaking to us tonight, both from the Arizona Hispanic Community Forum, and I will start with Beato Soto. And please know that the rules say 5 minutes, please, and kind of hold you to that.
Absolutely. It should take less than that. First of all, I want to congratulate you, President Saar, on your new tenure. I think it's going to be a pretty good one. Former President Byrd, I want to congratulate you on a fabulous tenure. You were very kind and welcoming to the folks that came and spoke here to the Citizens Intern, and hope to continue coming here. I come here today to deliver a letter on behalf of Linda Brown. She's also a fellow member of the Arizona Hispanic Community Forum, and she couldn't be here today. The spirit of the letter that she already emailed to each of the members of the board, it's basically the spirit of transparency and accountability. And she couldn't be here today, and she asked me to deliver this letter to you so that it's stated in the record of the minutes that it was delivered. So if I may do so, may I approach the recorder to deliver it?
Please.
Thank you so much. And that is all I have. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you very
it.
much.
One more thing. Want to congratulate the nominees for the emeritus positions. I think as a fellow person that just went through grad school and got his PhD, and every time I see an emeritus professor, I know that's a person that changed thousands of lives. And I'm glad to be one of the people that were outreached by some of the fellow emeritus folks, and bless their souls. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Rosie Lopez.
President Czar, and members of the board, my name again is Rosie Lopez with the Arizona Hispanic Community Forum, and I also come here to talk about the IT. And I have a statement to make, and I also wanted to include it in the record because I'm going to give you all a copy.
Please.
Over 14 million taxpayer dollars have been allocated in dealing with one of the biggest IT fiascos in MCCD. Millions more will have to be allocated to defend class action suits. This entire incident could have been avoided had the Chancellor taken the time to read and act upon information presented to him as early as 2011. As board members, you should be asking the following questions. Why did the Chancellor ignore over 12 written warnings regarding security problems in the computer systems? Numerous warnings of financial risk to the institutions, IT security issues, fear in the workplace, and discrimination came from IT employees, MAT and PSA presidents, and even the Office of Public Stewardship to no avail. Why were employee grievances ignored by the Chancellor for nearly a year and a half? These grievances contained critical information about IT security issues that could have prevented the 2013 security breach. Why is executive leadership denying the existence of security reports from both IT leaders and even companies they hired to conduct investigations after 2011? Don't they care to follow up on major incidents? Why didn't consultants in charge of IT since 2012 conduct periodic security checks of their systems? Why aren't those highly paid consultants who were responsible for IT at the time of the incident being held accountable? Why are they still here? Why are IT employees, some with over 25 years of service to MCCCD and exemplary performance reviews, targeted for termination? Why is the Vice Chancellor of Human Resources creating new policies and applying them retroactively to events in the past and using these brand new policies to terminate long-term near retirement employees? Why are these policies created about the same time that the IT investigation was conducted? Why did the Chancellor waste millions of dollars on consultants to learn the systems before they could perform a questionable investigation rather than involve the Maricopa staff? Why did Maricopa wait nearly 7 months to protect the public after hearing from the FBI? Is MCCCD secure today, or did the consultants simply apply a Band-Aid to the current systems? It is advisable for you to look into the Palo Alto firewall solution and look back a couple of years. Why was an ITT staff involved in the 2011 security incident not contacted during the investigation? Their contact information was provided to the investigators. Kroll conducted the investigation, which concluded that 2.5 million people needed protection. Kroll is also the company offering protection. Isn't that a conflict of interest? Do you see a pattern here? Ignoring over 12 written warnings and IT security reports, conducting a biased investigation with potential conflict of interest, delaying protection to the public unnecessarily, avoiding responsibility and scapegoating, denying access to information readily available, promoting chaos to justify their actions to hire expensive consultants who brought us into this mess. It appears that leaders opted to use millions of taxpayer dollars to protect themselves with expensive lawyers and consultants rather than listen to existing staff and members of the community. Now, instead of spending millions of dollars to hire faculty and help students, we may have to set all this money aside for expensive lawyers and consultants. I urge this board to take the following steps and save our district from further damage. Stop all disciplinary actions against IT employees who went above and beyond to communicate their concerns with this administration. place the chancellor on administrative leave so an investigation into his conduct can take place without bias, obstruction, or interference. Place the acting VC of HR on administration leave for wrongful termination, attempts, and misuse of board policies to execute personal agendas. It is time for a change, where transparency rules, and a change that can restore the public's trust in one of the best educational institutions in the country. I urge this board to help us avoid what happened at Pima Community College. You, the board of MCCCD, represent us, the taxpayers, not the administration. It is your job to ensure that the administration is accountable to you. You are in charge. You, the board of MCCCD, are the only ones who can drive this change. You, the board of MCCCD, now have all the information you asked for to make the right decisions. It is time to start leading by example. Again, I reiterate, this entire incident could have been avoided. Thank you very much, and I want this copy to go into the minutes.
You want to? Okay. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the order of the agenda. Do I have a motion to do so? Motion is made. Is there a second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the order of the agenda for tonight. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Next item is the consent agenda. Does any member want to take out any part of the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to take out the section related to the hirings and the separations and the hirings within our consent agenda.
I'll call that agenda item 4C.
Thank you.
Any others? Hearing none, we'll ask for a motion to approve the balance of the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Now, item 4C, which includes the human resources, 4 items: consideration of employments, consideration of specialty funded employments, consideration of short-term employments, and consideration of separations. So you want to say something?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I campaigned for this board seat, knowing very well the priorities of the statutory responsibilities of the board in HR matters and in budget matters. There are 2 issues that we have as statutory responsibility: budget and HR. And after going through an election to this board, one of the things that I understood to be the past president, Colleen Clark's, one of her greatest frustrations were issues of HR matters. And a hostile work environment and I recognized it from my HR background and experience and education that it was a Stone Age approach in a new era, a more collegial way of working together and treating subordinates and recognizing a new day in the way that we talk and treat, and also a new day in an attitude about hierarchy and how bureaucratic hierarchies of handing out favors and using sticks, coercion, intimidation are gone, outdated, inappropriate, unprofessional, and unacceptable. I feel that we need to take our responsibility as a board more seriously in this arena. We have made progress in removing some things and taking more responsibility in validating and verifying on budget. And I think that we need to start doing the same with HR. I believe very strongly that there is a reason and I invite anyone to go back and read the minutes as to why the legislature felt so strongly to put these two issues of this board's representation responsibility to the taxpayers. I have personally been where I have seen and have challenged tone, language, comments that as soon as I do are back-treaded. Well, that's not what we meant, but it's what was said, so it is what was meant. And the way that we address our HR issues. We have got to get a handle on this. And I'm asking that something change to make a difference so that we can move this district to the 21st century in the way that we treat employees.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve agenda item 4C 1 through 4?
And never put them on the consent agenda again. They need to be done just like the budget.
Do I hear a motion?
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve agenda items 4C 1 through 4. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
No.
Motion passes 3-1. Moving on to the non-consent agenda, consideration of non-consent action items of business services, approval of a contract award for janitorial services at Gateway Community College. Ms. Thompson.
Mr. President, members of the board, pursuant to a request for proposal process that the college worked with purchasing on, we're making a recommendation that the board award a contract for $401,820 a year to C&D Crystal Cleaning, and they will provide the services at Gateway Community College, American Skill Center Cutting Edge, and the Northwest Center for the college. The contract would become effective February 1 and could be extended through July 31st, 2018. We recommend its approval.
Thank you. Your motion.
I move approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the contract award for janitorial services at Gateway Community College. All those in favor? Any discussion, first of all? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Next item is monitoring reports. We'll hear from Ms. Thompson on the budget analysis report, Fund 1, General Unrestricted Funds for the 6 months ending December 31st, 2013.
Mr. President, members of the board, this is the budget analysis report for the general fund for the district for the first half of the fiscal year. To date, 64.2% of revenues have been collected, and this percentage is on par with prior years. To a great degree, that's because our revenue collection is cyclical, which I have indicated in the past. Our major revenue source in the general fund is property taxes, and the collection periods are really October and November, which occurred in the first half of the fiscal year, and then again in April and May for the semi-annual payments that are due from property owners. For the first 6 months of the year, of the $234 million received in property taxes, $178 million came in October and November, so you can see the significance of collections in those two payment periods. In terms of expenditures, they are also in line with budget and what we would expect. We've expended about 43% of our budget to date in this first 6 months. Last month's spending was at 36%, and that difference is pretty typical, and that's because our largest expenditures are for personnel in forms of payroll as well as benefits. For example, we've expended $244 million on personal services and benefits in the first 6 months, and that's 76% of the total spent to date, so it's all very patterned in terms of what our major expenditures are. And finally, we do expect to meet our financial stability requirement this fiscal year as in the past.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Any questions? Thank you very much. We move on to community linkage and governing board reports. I'll start with Mr. Burke.
Okay. Had the opportunity to attend the convocation at Mesa Community College this past month. I heard the president of De Anza College in California, who talked about a nationwide program among community colleges. Mesa Community College is part of that. And it's a focus on community activity by students. Really a great speech and a great program. Enjoyed hearing that. Mr. Saar and I were able to go to ASU recently to meet with Dr. Maria Hesse, who works with districts in Maricopa, especially on the pathway programs. And we heard a presentation from ASU's side and what they were doing, working with community colleges to encourage students to transfer. And it was eye-opening in terms of ASU's approach to the program. And then yesterday, I attended a program to hear a speech, and now I forgot his first name. David Gergen, right. We approved a program tonight funded by the O'Connor House. And the O'Connor House and the Phoenix Chamber of Commerce invited David Gergen to come and speak. And he really talked about people being bipartisan and working together. It was a great speech. Enjoyed it very much.
Mrs. Pierce?
No comments?
Mr. Wall?
Yeah, I wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome back for the new semester, and I'm proud of the work. We had some good examples of people who gave their lives to this district and with outstanding changes to the community by the students they influenced, and encourage that we continue with motivating and inspiring people and go the path like Mr. Pearson was talking about, of inspiring and motivating and not a path of fear and discouraging. And so when we have problems, we bring them to light and we solve them together. And I think this is the path we do, and I think the path we're going to continue, and the path I'd like to see us go down. I've been to several activities. One is the Mayo Empowerment Network called MIN. It's from the Mayo Minority Initiative. It was an awesome program. Dennis Saar and I were there. I'd like to congratulate Felicia Gunther and Roy Usholz on a wonderful project. It started out as a once-a-year workshop, minority men, and now we have people, young men from all 10 colleges committed, and to the 3 C's. The 3 C's are connect, commit, and complete, and they signed their commitment, and they're there to help, for them to complete and also to inspire and help others and create this brotherhood so we can get increase our student success rate. Just today, Dennis Saar and I went to the Virtual Incident Command Center. I hadn't seen it before, and it was just extremely impressive, where we teach mainly people in the command and the leadership of the different fire departments in Maricopa County, emergency commands, and how to, and they reenact those, and they try to improve how they can have deal with the fire emergencies. And it was an awesome program, and I'm proud that we're doing this, and we're looking at putting it into the corporate college and making a nationwide education program that we can spread what we do throughout the nation, not only Maricopa County. I had a nice visit with Dr. Amato. Thank you for your time. To Straight Mountain College, and a nice discussion about how we can encourage more working with the high school boards and the district and the west side that feed Straight Mountain College, and how we can work with them to get more high school classes on campus. College classes on high school campuses. We toured the Gateway Early College High School. They decided that this. Very impressed with what they do. I think it's a program we're duplicating. We are planning going out to see the Phoenix early high school program, but their staff is very impressive. The students are doing awesome. There's about 275 students there, and they're doing college and high school. And this is what we want to duplicate throughout the Maricopa College, not just in a few charter schools, but seeing this as a model for other public schools. And I attended the grand opening of the technical building at Glendale College. I think it was how we can go in there and get an old building built in '69 and make it to a new modern technology building and improve it and with some high-tech equipment there, would provide such a much better education, surely than I had the opportunities when I went to school. And I was looking at the 3D printer. I mean, just amazing technology that we are teaching now, and how to use the 3D printer in engineering and architecture and the different sciences. So these kids are really getting a real outstanding education. I went with Doyle and Dana and Dr. Glasper to the O'Connor House, and it was a nice seeing the work of Sandra Day O'Connor and trying to spread good government throughout the nation. And I know Dr. Glasper is on the board of the O'Connor House, and we're proud of that effort. Thank you.
Thank you. On your last, it's all been said, I guess, so I will pass. Moving on to the internal community, Dr. Glasper. Then there's no faculty executive council report tonight. We'll listen to Dr. Lucia Hand from the Employee Adjunct Faculty Association.
Thank you. President Saar, members of the board, Dr. Glasper, members of the CEC, and guests, my name is Licia Hand. I am the Adjunct Faculty Employee Group President. Thank you for your continued opportunity to speak on behalf of the adjunct faculty who work diligently towards student success and student engagement. The purpose of speaking to you tonight is to present 2 new college representatives and photos from the December Outstanding Adjunct Faculty Celebration. The Adjunct Faculty Employee Group has filled the college representative position for South Mountain and Mesa Community College. We are pleased to have Leo Valverde as the college representative for South Mountain. He teaches in the Communication, Fine Arts, and Social Sciences Department. We're also pleased to have Rosie Margarelli, college representative from Mesa. She is currently pursuing her doctorate in Mind, Brain, and Science Education at Johns Hopkins University and serves as a professor in their teacher education graduate program, teaching courses in the brain and learning, differentiated instruction, transformational leadership, and technology for today's teacher. Unfortunately, both Rosie and Leo are not here tonight as they are teaching. They're supporting our student engagement and student success. Next, I will move to our short slideshow presentation from the December 2013 Outstanding Adjunct Faculty Celebration. And I would like to invite a guest to the podium, our Roxanne Beckstrom Sternberg, college representative for Paradise Valley Community College.
Good evening. I would like to, I also chaired the Outstanding Adjunct Committee with Polly Labat from Glendale and Kathy Laity from Chandler Gilbert. We were so excited about this presentation, and it was a great evening. We want to start with showing you that the event as virtually. Then we started off with good food. We continued on with decorations, and the program shows that we celebrated with 34 adjuncts. Then we started the evening with a group cheer, and then we also were honored by the presence of vice presidents and presidents being in the cheering department. And then we also had adjuncts supporting adjuncts. You see that the whole group here, in that each had a unique story to share, and we were very inspired by all the work that they do to increase commerce and student success. Thank you.
The Adjunct Faculty Employee Group would like to thank the governing board for the opportunity to speak on behalf of our adjunct faculty, and I personally want to thank administration and the Faculty Association because they have been helpful and supportive in the issues for adjunct faculty. Thank you. And helping solve the issues, not making the issues. Great.
You know, in the last month or two, there's been numerous articles in our trade magazines for higher education on adjuncts. around the country.
Yes, I've
And
seen those.
every time I read one of those, I'm so thankful that we have a group like you.
We're working hard. I've been staying in communication with Patty because I think that's something that we need to make as a shift. Even if 60-40, when 60-40 goes through, we're still gonna have a high number of adjuncts. So I think our real question is, what do we do to support and retain our adjuncts? So I'm grateful to be able to work and hold meetings to figure out how can we support our adjuncts with academic rigor, student success, and student engagement.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have no reports from vice chancellors or colleges. In the external community, Mr. Burke, talk about AADGB.
Yes, our next AADGB meeting is on March 6th here at the district.
Thank you. I'll report on the ASBA. We attended the national or the state annual conference in December, and as always, we learn a lot from what's going on, not only in our world in post-secondary education, but also in the K-12 world, who are obviously those that we count on to bring us the students prepared for college level work, and they are well aware of the work they have yet to do to get to that level that our students need to be when they come to us. So we look forward to the next event, which is later on in the summer, where we talk more about the legislative activities going on that affect both of us. And with that segue, I invite Ms. Dawn Wallace up to give us a legislative update.
Good evening, President Sauer, members of the board, Chancellor Glasper, members of CEC, and all others present. Thank you for the opportunity to provide you with a legislative update. As I mentioned in my last update, the governor's fiscal year 2015 budget did not include any additional funding for Maricopa. It did in fact include full funding of the STEM line for rurals, which was offset by reductions in our two other formula lines, resulting in a zero increase of general fund dollars or state investment in the community college system. We are not too pessimistic. We are continuing to work on our lobbying efforts at the legislature and with the governor's office. We have also engaged our community partners, our business partners, when possible, when they are talking to state policymakers, to talk about the value, the economic value, and the quality of life value that we provide to their constituencies in their communities. So we are definitely not have given up on trying to secure some additional state investment. I also wanted to let you know that on February 19th, Chairman Dial, Jeff Dial, of the House Higher Education and Workforce Development Committee is hosting a Community College President's Day. He has invited 3 community college presidents. Chancellor Glasper is the first presenter, followed by Pima and a yet-to-be-determined rural community college president. At that hearing, we will also be introducing and our American students who are receiving recognition that day as well, and we will introduce them to at least some of them. There's about 73 of them. We're going to introduce some of them to the Higher Education Committee and have them acknowledge the quality, the best and the brightest that we have in our system. So that is an exciting opportunity to showcase our students, our academic and our academic quality students. I should say to you that to date, there are 773 bills that have been introduced by the legislature, 521 of them in the House, 252 in the Senate, along with 53 resolutions and memorials. That is indicative of an election year when you have that many resolutions. Of the 773, 177 are technical corrections. Many of you know those are bills that have minor changes and are slated for some additional policy initiative going forward. We will not know the full scope of introduced bills. We have a February 3rd deadline for the Senate, and we have a February 10th deadline for the House. So we will see at the end of the 10th how many bills we have to reckon with this session. In my last legislative briefing, I did highlight some bills that have some direct impact to Maricopa. I mentioned the 2 firearms bills. We have determined through more legal review that those do not apply to us. However, since then, House Bill 2186, which is faculty carry has been introduced by Representative Carl Seal, and that does directly impact the community colleges statewide in terms of the policies that we have. In the last few days, there's been a higher education voucher bill that's been introduced, and another bill that would prevent admission into a public university if the student was required to do remediation or if they had failed to achieve a satisfactory score on a university placement test. And I would say that that has some direct impact on us. There are several ASRS bills, by several I mean probably 20 to 25, that we are currently reviewing to see what impacts that would have on our employees who are in that system. That is my presentation. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am?
The bill on remediation, I understand, Ms. Wallace, Mr. Chairman, that only applies to universities, not community colleges.
President Saar, Ms. Pearson, that is correct. These are university students.
And the sponsor of that bill?
President Saar, Ms. Pearson, is Representative Chester Cranner.
And his intent was those who are not ready for university, we need to be spending better dollars helping them to see their way to community colleges to prepare.
President Saar, Ms. Pearson, I've heard him say that in other forums. Now that bill does include some other provisions related to differentiated tuition for specific high demand, industry high demand jobs. So what he's proposing is that the Arizona Commerce Authority put together a list of those high demand jobs and that the universities would have differentiated tuition for students who seek those particular pathways. So this is just one provision in that larger bill. But those that differentiated tuition did not apply to us, so I didn't mention that.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Wallace, is there any way we'll be able to convince the legislature then to maybe put a little funding for that remediation increase in student body to help out with this need for remediating what the high schools did not teach?
President Saar, Ms. Pearson, I will tell you that in every conversation I have with the legislator, I do talk about our significant role in providing developmental education to our students, our traditional students and our non-traditional students. So I can't answer what the future might be, but I can tell you that as your advocate, I do talk about that in every conversation.
Mr. Saar, Ms. Wallace, do we not qualify for a fiscal note? No, never mind.
Keep going. Thank you very much. Now, just to let people know, if you have any questions about legislation, would like some information on how to go visit your legislators down at the Capitol, I can say that Mr. Romans and Don have been outstanding in helping us to do just that. So I encourage you to use their expertise and their knowledge in the process to move things forward for us. So thank you very much. We have a few meetings coming up in the next week or two. On February 4th, we have both, next Tuesday, by the way. At 4 o'clock, there's an agenda review, which is where the governing board sits down with staff and reviews the agenda coming up. That will be on the 25th of February. You're welcome to come and join us. It's in this room. We get into some deeper discussions on items that come up in the next board. The work session will also be taking place on the 4th, where we'll hear some comments and presentations from faculty, I understand, and also work on some of our policies as well. We're getting ready to blast off for Washington, D.C. to solve all the problems in the city. We leave next week, I believe, 7th through 9th. We're thanking our government relations people for putting together meetings with our congressmen, as well as meeting with some of the people in the State Department at the federal level. We hope to come back with some news and some information, and hopefully we'll bring back better news than we're getting here in Arizona. Seeing no other business tonight, the meeting of January 28, 2014 is adjourned.